Hi everybody, it's Alex Tennis, and today I'm gonna review for you the brand new Head Radical Pro. Let's go. So today I took out this new Radical Pro from Tennis Zone to review for you guys to see if this racket could be a great fit for you or not. So in order to make this review, I'm gonna first talk about the specs and then we're gonna go on the court, and finally I'm gonna give my rating. So the specs of this Radical Pro remains unchanged. This is a 98 square inch head size racket with a 16 by 19 string pattern and an unstrung weight of 315 grams. The balance of this racket is 31.5 centimeters, and this racket is strung with Head Lynx Tour at 52 pounds. I'm really excited to test this new version because the first video ever on my channel was the review of the exotic version of this racket. So in order to bring a bit of nostalgia, I will do the review of this racket just like I did back in 2023. Let's go on the court. If you're looking to buy some tennis products online, then I have a great news for you. You can use the code ALEXTENNIS to have 10% off your next purchase on Tennis Zone. Thanks to them for making this video possible, and let's go back. On the court with the new Head Radical Pro 2025, the first thing that I felt with this racket, and I'm happy to feel with, is that yes, because it's a 315 gram, this racket is really stable. So you have a lot of stability, you have a quite good access to power, I would say, in general. Obviously it's not a powerful racket like let's say a Wilson Ultra or Babolat Pure Aero, but it's still okay in terms of power. This is clearly one of the best racket offering control and power at the same time. From the baseline you can see that if you're putting your body into it, then the pace will be great, but your swing has to be quite fast to generate power. In terms of spin, that's definitely not a stands out of this racket. I felt like at the net, because of the stability, it was easy to feel the ball. Definitely not the best racket in terms of volley, but it's still good in what it is offering in general. At the serve, this is quite an improvement over the exotic version. I just feel like the extra feel helps you to understand a bit more the launch angle compared to the other version, which I felt was too low. So in general, this racket is a lot more easy to understand and a lot more consistent in the way that it feels. So you know what to expect when you're playing with this racket, and you know what you're gonna get with this racket. And for me, that's one of the most important thing when you're having a racket for high-level player, is that you have this consistency in terms of feel, which was not the case with the other version. So the small improvement of the Exotic 2.0 just changed a bit the feel and makes a big difference in a racket that I was already one of my favorite, that's for sure. So the Head Radical Pro has always been one of my favorite racket on the market, and I think it will remain this way. I really like the balance of this racket. It brings a lot of stability to the racket while keeping a lot of control, but you can see that you can still hit some hard shot with this racket. And I think that a lot of people could benefit from playing with this racket, obviously if you can handle that 315 gram unstrung weight. And so let's go with the rate. In terms of control, I feel like it's not bad at all. Obviously the Radical is meant to do everything well, but not something incredible, and I feel like the control is really due to that 315 gram. Yes, it's bringing a lot of plow through, and we're gonna talk about it later in the video, but I feel like it just brings you to a safer spot of not over accelerating your forehand, but the goal is to not decelerate your forehand or your backhand when you're hitting. But if you're able to keep a consistent speed with your stroke, then this racket will suit you really good. I feel like this racket is meant for players who have a medium to fast swing. If you have a slower swing, then you will be hurt by this racket, that's for sure. So for all those reasons, control has to be 8.5 out of 10. In terms of power, like I said, this is not a powerful racket, but when I was connecting the ball really well with a good swing speed and all that stuff, a great timing, it's one of the racket that can generate the best amount of power, that's for sure. And so that's why this racket keep impressing impressing me because yes, you have some control, but you can definitely hit some great shot, and I hit one of the most powerful forehands of my life with this racket. We're gonna talk a bit more about this in the feel section, but for me, this racket is a huge improvement because it brings the power to another level while not losing that control that sometimes occurred in the older generation. So for all those reasons, power has to be 7.5 out of 10. In terms of feel, like I said, I feel like this racket is a great update because I really enjoyed the Radical Pro, the Auxetic version. But the only issue that I had with this racket is that when I was rallying with the Auxetic, I just felt like sometimes it was too powerful, maybe due to the 315 gram, and I just felt like sometimes I was maybe losing a bit of stability, not by that much, but like a bit. But with this new one, I just feel like it's better in terms of stability, better in terms of comfort, but better in predictability. I really like the Radical Auxetic, but this one is definitely more predictable, so you know where the ball is going, and that's definitely something that adds up to this racket. So in terms of feel, I'll have to go with 9 out of 10. In terms of spin, that's definitely not a standout for this racket, especially the Pro, maybe due to the way that I hit the ball, but usually I tend to put a lot of spin on the ball, but this one feels like it's a lot easier to hit flat shot with. So yes, it's not bad, but it's definitely not a big standout. So if you're looking for spin, that's definitely not the racket that you should choose. So I'll have to go with 7 out of 10. So there you have the overall rating. Finally, I would recommend this racket to high level tennis player who plays competitive, who has played competitive tennis, that want to have a racket that's gonna do everything. It's gonna be great in terms of control, but you can still hit some winner. At the net, it's still a great stable racket. Same thing at the serve. I feel like they fixed a bit more what I was talking in my previous review of the Auxetic version. I felt like the launch angle was a bit low on the serve, but this one is definitely not the case. So yeah, aggressive player who are pretty strong, and I have to say that that 315 gram was a bit too much for me personally. So there you have my review of the Head Radical Pro. Again, thanks to Tennis-On for letting me borrow this racket. Without them, it would not have been possible. Don't forget to like, comment, and to subscribe, and see you next time. Bye bye.